And it is a down to earth technique which uses one's sexuality uh, uh, in to produce in a different way. In other words, creation is made possible through a sound wave, and that sound wave is ah. When it is released through the lowest chakra, it becomes procreation. But when the same sound frequency, if it is taken to the third eye chakra and released from there, then it becomes the agency that translate your thoughts into three-dimensional material objects. Whatever your thoughts are begin to manifest. So this is also part of the Enlightenment tradition. But somehow this was not emphasized. What was emphasized was the renunciation part of it. And most people subscribe to it and then they begin to shun material wealth. And that is the reason why there is not many people attracted towards spirituality and religion. So once they know that this is a tradition that is going to enrich your material life as well, I think there will be people who would look at it from a different perspective.
I think very much the quote practical mindset,
Yeah.
the West's practical mindset seems to be completely centered around the idea of financial models. The how is success or failure measured? It's measured financially.
Yeah.
I think speaking to that particular sense or sensibility in the West is definitely a very, very interesting approach to trying to show people the practicality of developing themselves in a spiritual way. You come obviously from a very different perspective. I mean, you're not Western born, although you've been very well Western educated. What do you think that the difference is in the perspective between the East and the West?
Well, in the East, what happened was people got uh, excessively interested in the other world. They forgot about this world. As a result, there was no development on the material side because matter was looked down and spirit was looked something very desirable. As a result, time and energy was spent on trying to uh, get out of this world, liberation, mukti, not coming back into this world because reincarnation is bad, which is true, because when you talk about liberation, this body is bondage. There's no doubt about it. Even if you have $1 billion, you still have the problems of old age. And you know the story of the Buddha. The
Yes.
Buddha was, a prince and he had everything, but still he could not, stand the sufferings of the mind, the body, and old age and other kinds of sufferings. So he wanted to find an end to all these problems. And that was through meditation, and that was trying to live a different lifestyle other than affirming this kind of lifestyle which leads you into bondage. So there was definitely an attempt to live the other world more than this world. The West, on the other hand, did not care about, at least within the 400 years, too much about spirituality. And science was developed, and science was studying the physical laws of nature. And more and more people got involved in understanding physical laws. So material science became the important thing that one can pursue in this life, because we do not know what's going to happen after one dies, or what is super consciousness. These are not very relevant for this life. I think an ideal situation would be the East and the West should come together because there is tremendous amount of advantage in combining these two traditions and come up with a new model of life, so that we are not going to the two extremes. The West is the materialistic extreme, and the East is the spiritualist extreme. The extremes are always bad. Okay, we have to be in the middle path. So that's what has to happen. People have to understand the advantages of being spiritual. And also, people in the East have to understand the advantages of being material. Because we are still material beings, we are living on this earth plane. We have to conform to material laws. And this is an education which is necessary for the East.
Indeed. The you publish a sort of you publish in various newspapers and magazines that you are available for teaching, and in the course of this, you say some things that are very that some people would seize on in a very substantial way, and you say things about manifesting wealth and abundance.
Yeah.
Could you talk a little about what you mean when you say wealth and abundance? Are you talking about everyone becoming Bill Gates?
Yes, it is possible for everyone to create whatever he wants to create, because creation starts with a thought. And everyone should learn the art of thinking. It's not that thoughts come to us randomly. We produce these thoughts based upon so many factors: our previous life, karma, or our own environment wherein we live. These influence the thoughts that come into our brain.
Mm-hmm.
We can control this process. In fact, I am developing a computer program called, it will be an interactive CD, Stupid Thoughts Inhibitors. As soon as a stupid thought comes, there will be signals. Because most of the time we are involved only in thinking stupid thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
It is because the mind is a sick unit. Okay? And if we regulate the mind, then the mind will be enabled to think only rewarding thoughts. I call them as super thoughts. So it can be cultivated consciously, and we can eliminate all unimportant thoughts. So, because fundamentally, everything boils down to the thoughts a person has. If a person has very limiting thoughts, he is going to create those thoughts. There is a saying in Sanskrit, yad bhavam tat bhavati, which means you become as you think. There is no way of becoming other than through your thoughts. So if you are able to produce those very powerful thoughts, then those thoughts will, over a period of time, manifest in three-dimensional reality. So it is possible for anyone to change his or her thought and then to manifest whatever reality that person wants to manifest.